Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to online classes of your global navigation satellite system. So today I'm going to discuss about the last last topic of your fourth unit, and immediately we'll start on the fifth unit. So I hope I actually have completed all the topics in the fourth unit in the previous classes itself. I would like to just revise all the previous topics which were in your fourth unit, along with some applications where you are going to use your global navigation systems. Okay, and we have also seen in the fourth chapter, actually we have seen different kinds of navigation systems which are run by different countries. So and along with that one, we have seen like how many satellites have been working and what are the constellations are about that one, when it was developed, what was the history of that one, right? Along with the different segments, the working segments which you have in all the navigation systems that we have seen in this unit. So the unit which we have covered, in that we actually have three parts, right? I hope you all remember that one. See here in the fourth unit, other global navigation satellite systems we have seen, where we have gone through with the GLONASS. Along with that one, we have also moved on for the Galileo, then Chinese navigation system, that is BeiDou 2 or Compass, and last we are going to see the applications of your global navigation satellite system that I would like to discuss in today's class. So when we were discussing about the different navigation system, along with that one I have discussed about the applications also. But anyhow, I will again once again tell about where we actually use these navigation systems. I hope now everyone knows where we actually use this, right? So we move on to the different navigation systems that we have covered till now. See, these are the four navigation system, basic global navigation systems. So in that one, GPS was the first unit that we have discussed. That is, I hope everyone is clear with that one, where we have seen the signal generation and all. That was completely, this GPS was completely about your first chapter. In this chapter, we have covered your GLONASS, Galileo and Compass. GLONASS was your global navigation satellite system, which was developed and run by the Russian country, right? It is a satellite based navigation system as to determine the GPS and its proper positioning of an object. We have used this one, and actually it was started in the year of 1976. It was just a statement, and it took place, the launch that all took place in the year of 1982. Then it was fully functional in 1995, correct? Then we have seen this Galileo. Which country? Galileo? Yes, it was your European country. The European country people have started this Galileo, and they have started in the middle of 1980s or something, statemented, and after 90s and something we have got into running. So this was the Galileo, and which was run by your European country. And the next one was your Compass or BeiDou 2. This is the global navigation satellite system which is run and owned by the China country, right? So China was the one. Now actually in 2010 or something, they have started only with 3 satellites. Now they are moving on with 8 satellites and all, and in 2020 they have started actually the working. Okay, it was fully functional in the previous year itself. So these are the 3 different navigation systems that we have seen, and the GPS is completely run and owned by the United States of America. So this is by America. GPS is used or developed by America, and GLONASS is by Russia, and Galileo is about European countries, and Compass is of your China. So these are the 4 different satellite navigation systems that we have seen. In the 5th chapter, we are going to see our Indian regional navigation system that we are going to use, and some other countries also, like Japan is also a country which is also having its own navigation system, satellite based navigation system. So other all navigation systems that we are going to see in your 5th chapter, right? Regional navigation satellite system, this is of your Indian country. Then you are going to see about Japan's navigation system, which is called as quasi zenith satellite system, and China's areas positioning system, CCAP. or you can also call as CAPS. So Chinese area positioning system, that is global area positioning or global positioning system. Here we are going to see China's area positioning system. These are the three topics. And now this integration means when you are combining this GPS with some other systems like pseudoloids, cellular integration, when you are combining this GPS with any other applications. So how you are going to combine and all that you are going to see in your 5th chapter, right? So before we move on to the 5th chapter, once we have look on the applications that you are going to see in your navigation system, the last topic of your 4th unit, that is applications of your global navigation satellite system. So I have listed some of the uses. Okay, so it was one of the journal where I have got from where this paper is all about the applications of your global navigation satellite system. So I'll be sharing this paper also with you, this journal, so that you can get an idea like where you are going to use. We have some history also in this one, where actually it was started and all, and why we have used this one. Okay, so I'll be sharing all this one with you people. Okay, see the global navigation applications what you are going to see here. So GNSS or global navigation satellite system, our receiver uses GPS or GLONASS, Galileo or BeiDou system, which are used in many applications. So this global navigation satellite system receivers like we people or the mobile phones or in your cars or ships or anything, the receiver which is receiving this, we are using either global positioning system or the global navigation satellite system or the Galileo or BeiDou. Okay, these are the different navigation systems that are used for any number of applications. And very importantly, the very first application this all navigation systems are using is for navigation, right? So the automobiles can be equipped with the global navigation satellite system receivers at the factory itself, or aftermarket also you can use this one. So now every car, any application is already having or already equipped GNSS receiver, is it already inbuilt in that one, correct? You buy a mobile phone, in the previous days it was not there, any no GPS was there, right? Now every system or any application is already having a GNSS receiver inbuilt in that one. Either you can inbuilt, it is inbuilt in after sometimes when it has came into the era, some applications have used it separately. Its separate equipment was used to get all this navigation and all. So these units often display moving maps or the information about the location or speed, direction and nearby streets and the points of interest, right? So automobiles, like in the phone, when you are going for any particular new location, you just open a Google map, okay, navigation, there you will point out some particular place, and obviously you will be getting how much speed you require to go over there and how much speed you will go in that particular location, what is the direction, what are the nearby streets to go from there, how much traffic. Now in nowadays you can also get to know like how much traffic is also there, so which area, which route we have to go as to get less traffic and all, everything now it's again booming up. So this is for navigation used for automobile, which is already equipped in automobiles. Then comes to the aircraft navigation system, it usually displays the moving map, and also often it is connected to a autopilot for the enrouting the navigation. So cockpit mounted global navigation satellite receiver and the glass cockpits are appearing in general aviation aircraft of all the sizes using the technologies such as wide area augmented system or local area augmented system as to increase the accuracy. These points you have to remember, like which technologies you are going to use for this one, correct? See, we have two different augmentations, right? One is a space based augmentation system and one is a ground based augmentation system. When LAS is your ground based augmentation system and VAS is your space based augmentation system. So when you are using this application for your aircraft navigation, we usually use these receivers or the global navigation receivers in your cockpits, and that will be available in all the sizes for your aircraft. Along with that one, they will be having the technologies of wide area augmentation system, okay, as to increase the accuracy. This also is provided in the ground augmentation system, that is your LAS, as to increase the accuracy of your particular received signal. Okay, so many of these systems may be certified for the instrument flights, okay, for the rules of navigation, and some can also be used for the final approach for the landing operation also. So that's the reason we have used two technologies, one for the space navigation and all for the final approach, and one for the landing operation. So for the both the uses as well as the ground in the space we can use. So that's the reason we have used two technologies for this one. Fine, I hope you are clear with this one. So this is the GPS receiver that can be used, that was not inbuilt in the previous days. They used to have separately one particular equipment. Now everyone is having inbuilt navigation system. Even cars, you are having mobile phones, in the airplanes, ships, everywhere you are using this one. But initially it was not there. So GNSS may be connected to ships or self-straining gears or any other particular area to interface that one, right? Then afterwards we have also used this for the heavy equipments. Okay, then it is also again used for your surveying and mapping. This was used for the geophysics, geology, archaeology, or all for the three-dimensional mapping, the site dealing, whether we can you have any particular artifact which is to be found. So as to find all this one, we are using this global navigation satellite system. And mostly for the surveying, this GNSS receivers can be used to position survey markers or the building as well as the road construction also. So these units will be using both the signals of L1 and L2, that is your pseudo random codes, which are your GPS frequencies, which are very important for the generation of your GPS signal. Even though if the L2 code data are encrypted also, the signal carrier wave enables the correction of some ionospheric errors. So we have already seen what are the errors and how we are going to remove that one. In case one frequency codes are encrypted also, but these can be removed by this particular carrier signal will be having the capability to remove that particular errors, and that errors may be occurred due to the atmospheric errors, and one of them is your ionospheric error. So this is how you will be using. And for the mapping and the geographic information system, GIS, this most mapping grade for mostly for mapping you are going for your global navigation satellite systems, right now. And if I see many other applications or the other users nowadays which are mostly used, okay, that are your precise time references. So many systems that must be accurately synchronized by using navigation system as a source of accurate time. We actually need a proper timing. So these GNSS can be used as a reference clock for the time code generators as well as for your network time protocol. So these are mainly used for your precise time reference, and for that one we are using time division multiple access communication networks, which are often rely on this precise timing to synchronize the radio frequency generating equipment, network equipment, and the multiplexer. So this is very important because synchronization is very important as to get the proper timing. So for getting all this one, we use time division multiple access as to have the synchronization between the RF generating equipment, the network equipment which is used to move on your signals from transmitter to receiver, and also for the multiplexers. So that is one use. Either you can also use this for the mobile satellite communications, of course. Now everyone will be using for this. So satellite communication system use a directional antenna, usually a dish. You know already how your antennas will be placed in particular satellite point, so that from that particular point or that particular antenna you will be getting your wave from the space segment to the ground segment, and for that one you will be using this mobile satellite communication, this directional antenna. So in that one also we are using our global navigation satellite system receivers. Okay, so the antenna on a moving ship or a train, or for example, must be pointed based on its current location. Okay, so we can get an idea like in which orbital plane your satellite is moving and in which direction your antenna should be kept or pointed in such a location that you will be getting easily the signals. So modern antenna controllers usually incorporate a global navigation satellite system receiver as to provide this information. So mostly you will be using this now previously, and in antennas it was not there, your GPS was not there. Now in modern antenna systems you are already incorporating a GPS receiver as to provide the proper information, right? Which information, like which point you have to keep your antenna so that you will be getting your grasping that particular signal from the space or from the satellite, right? So initially what they used to do, they used to keep the antenna and you have to change accordingly, or after some time the separate GPS receiver was obtained, and that used to keep separate equipment used to kept on the satellite. Now these antennas are itself you are having that they are inbuilt with some modern equipments of GPS, and they can easily change the direction as to get your proper locations, current locations. Now next one is emergency and location based services. In case of any emergency as to locate your cell phones and all, in emergency services you can use this global navigation systems. So the availability to locate a mobile phone is required in the US system by E911 emergency service legislation. So initially we didn't have any kind of, if you lost a phone or something, we didn't have any technology as to find it out. Now everyone is having that GPS technology or the navigation technology which is already inbuilt in the mobile phones. By using that one, we can automatically find, we can assist your GPS has to find the where mobile phone is moving on, or where it has been lost, what was the current or the last location of that one. Along with that one, it also increases the accuracy of that particular location. So that's the reason we can use this emergency and location based services also. Then location based games, okay, so that is also happen. More than me, you people can tell about like how your location based games are held. Availability of handheld global navigation receivers have led to games such as geocaching, which involves using a handheld navigation unit to travel to a specific longitude or latitude to search for the objects hidden by another geocacher. So this is a popular activity, often includes walking or hiking to a natural locations. So that's the reason this geodashing is an outdoor sport using waypoints. So you have to move on. So this GPS or the global navigations can be used for your location based games also. Some game is there, I don't know, you people might know it very clearly, geocaching, where two users will be playing that game. Someone gives a particular location on that latitude or longitude, and the game player should move on to that one in some particular time, on and you should find some natural locations over there. So it is a kind of outdoor game that it can also be used, used by using a local location based games. Then of course these are also used by the aircraft passengers. Most airline allows passengers to use navigation units on their flights except during the landing or the takeoff, and other electronic devices are also restricted, right? This everyone knows. So this aircraft or this one also be used by your aircraft passengers. Everyone knows, I hope that everyone knows, because whenever you move on, we are going somewhere in the flight, you can see like how much area we have covered, in how much time we are going to reach our particular location. So navigation is also provided, or in your aircraft passengers also, they also tell the weather condition over there, in which place you are going or which country, what in how much time you are reaching, what is the weather condition at the present on your flight also. Everything can be told or found out by taking information by your this GPS. And the next one is a heading information. Like actually it was not we can say not idea, or it was navigation was not designed for this particular purpose, but after some time, as the there was many applications have been developed, and there was many criterias. So this application has also been included in this one. So this what we call a global navigation satellite system compass uses a pair of antennas which are spread about from 50 centimeter to detect the phase difference in the carrier signal from the particular global navigation satellite, and gives you proper positioning of the satellite and the antenna, and the phase difference and the orientation of these two antennas are computed, and then by using your triangulation method you are going to find out like where you are going to head, where you are going actually. So this was also application. Heading information was also found. You can also use GPS tracking system. GNSS is to define or to determine the location of a vehicle or a person or a pet or anything that you record the positioning. If you have a GPS tracker, you just have, in most of the movies nowadays it is showing that you just place a GPS tracker in any of the pet or vehicle or a person. You will get easily track that particular person by using any computer or by using your modern mobile phones and all. So that is also involved in your global navigation satellite system. It was not initially one of the application, or initially it was the thought of doing this design also, but after many of these applications or moving criteria and all, they have gone for this one also. And it is also used for global navigation, road precising systems, weather conditions, photographic geocoding, skydiving, marketing, French diving or French diving. Skydiving you already know, so this also use your spot in the particular sky where you are moving or flying. When it comes to the French diving, it is a popular kind of diving in the water, or you can also say like ships are there, they also have a GPS. Nowadays they also having a GPS in case of any cyclone or weather condition. If if your ship has been moved to somewhere, or it has been dipped into the water or the bottom of the ocean also, then it can really use to navigate that particular kind of ships. So these are the particular applications that we use used by your global navigation satellite system. So I have listed all this one. I'll share this with you people. So please go through with all these applications that we are using, and what are the different global navigation satellite systems that we have used till now. Okay, so after this, in the next upcoming chapter, I'll be discussing about the Indian navigation satellite system, that is one, and one more navigation system that is of your Japan. Okay, there are two systems. Then afterwards, how you are going to integrate your GPS with any other applications like mobile phones are there, cellular technologies, how you have integrated that one, augmented that one. So that you are going to see in your next chapter. So I hope you are clear with all the fourth unit, and I have mostly completed all the topics. I have covered all the topics of your fourth chapter, that is architecture and features of your GLONASS, the Russian navigation system, then architectures and features of your Galileo, one of your European navigation system, architecture and features of your compass or BeiDou 2, that is your China's global navigation system. And now in today's class we have seen about the global navigation satellite system applications, what are different applications. Inshallah, in the next class we'll start our regional navigation satellite system. In that one, very first one is your Indian regional navigation satellite system. Fine ma, I hope you are clear. I'll also send you the questions for your internals. Okay, please do prepare well, and be ready with all the project and prepare for the viva of your project. It might be very soon, in the next week of your June, immediately after completion of your second meet. So be prepared with that one. Go through with all the things of your project, the coding part also, software as well as the hardware. Be ready with the kits, documentation, presentation and publication. I hope mostly all the batches have been winded up. Okay, only one batch is left, I think, with Asif and batch, because that students are really working hard. They are preparing their project by their own, so it's taking a bit time, but inshallah they'll also finish it very fast, I hope. So be prepared with all the things, presentations, your documentation, everything. If you are having any doubt regarding your thesis and all, please let me know, and in case of any doubts of your subject also, please do let me know. Okay, I'll wind up the class here itself. Thank you.